Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So a lot of you guys have been asking me to do a what I eat in a day video, and of course I was like, yes, I would love to do that. But first I kind of wanted to start explaining more about my personal relationship with food and how it's changed over the course of years, especially after I got into the fitness community. So today I'm going to show you what I eat in a normal day now and explain to you my past relationship with food. And mind you, my relationship with food is not perfect. I'm still working on it right now. Currently it is about 7:40 a.m. I know my last video I was like, I don't understand how people can just wake up and start filming a video, but here I am. I'm about to go and make breakfast now. So yeah, let's get to it. So for breakfast, my favorite thing to make is a tofu scramble. It's just something that's easy, high protein, customizable. Like I can put any sort of spices I want in it, and it tastes so good. My bread's done. So here is weighed out about 77 grams of white button mushrooms. My pan currently is preheating to about that number, like medium high, medium high. Literally right in the medium. So I've weighed out 175 grams of extra firm tofu. Over here, my mushrooms have pretty much finished the rounding and stuff. Usually I put the freak on it, but we ran out. Here we have 2 slices of some homemade bread, just regular white bread with some homemade hummus. I did rosemary lemon hummus because it turns out that's my favorite flavor of hummus. I'm tracking this bread, by the way, as Dave's bread, Dave's big bread, because I don't actually know the full accurate macros, so this is just what's going on. It is currently 8:07, and so I will enjoy this breakfast. With some tea, of course. I'm having some English breakfast tea with honey and vanilla. So good. Like when I tell you this is good, I mean it's good. What I like to do is I like to prep my lunch right after I eat breakfast, just because that way when I finish my workouts at like 12 or something, I can just eat food and not have to worry about making it. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So here I have 137 grams of just regular rice that actually was takeout rice from the Thai place near our house. We have 62 grams of carrots and 112 grams of cauliflower. And I've got some water boiling up right here. Let's talk it over. Let's talk it over one more time. Let's talk it over. Let's talk it over one more time. Let's talk it over.
I'm on the film?
I'm on TV. So I've weighed out about 79 grams of this Morningstar Farms chicken strips. It's gonna be like a curry sort of taste. that I've cleaned my room and put away all my laundry that needed to be done and gotten a new editing software installed legally, my relationship with food, the wonky part of it, started in 2017 when I first started losing weight. Before then, I used food to help cope with my mental instability of middle school. I was in a very bad place mentally. I was sad half of the time. I did have to go see a therapist for a while. I was surrounded by all of these other girls who were athletic, who were beautiful, but I was looking at them and I was confused because I was comparing myself to them. I started thinking of ways that I could make myself skinnier, that I could lose weight. But of course, nothing ever stuck because I ended up binging and all I ate was shit. And in turn, my body felt like shit and my mental stability felt like shit. I wasn't getting 8 hours of sleep. The most I was doing was going on a singular run per week, if I did that. I was doing crunches by the hundreds. I wasn't happy with that. This lasted until pretty much my sophomore year of high school. I took a step back from my life, looked at it, and I realized I was doing everything wrong. I was taking my health for granted, and I realized that I couldn't do that. So, as everyone does, I made a New Year's resolution that I would lose 20 pounds. So this was my starting weight. It was about 173 pounds, and by the time I got to my 160s, that's when I started getting determined. I realized that I could do it. It was possible. All I had to do was to just track everything, work out almost every single day, and just keep on going. And honestly, it worked. By May of 2017, I ended up losing 26 pounds, getting me down to my lowest weight of 141 pounds. Here's a picture of that. When I looked like that, I saw nothing wrong. I was finally achieving my goals. I thought I would keep that weight off forever. I thought that that was it. I wouldn't have to worry about it. But the thing is, I fell in love with tracking and I fell in love with working out during that time period, so I kept doing it throughout that entire summer until fall of 2017 during my junior year of band. That time, I kind of fell off track. I wasn't tracking, I wasn't working out, I had no energy to do anything because I was trying to eat low. Then I started intermittent fasting for a while, which didn't work because I just didn't feel good. And then eventually I just went vegan, which I'm still vegan today, but healthier vegan. By the end of that band season, I had gained 10 pounds back. I was at 155 pounds. But the thing is, my view on my body had changed. When I lost all that weight, I took a step back and realized living a healthy lifestyle is what matters. It doesn't matter whether or not I'm at a specific weight or not. As long as I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I think I'm cute as hell, that's good enough for me. And that was the beginning of pretty much everything. Something that I've found great joy in lately is making that whipped coffee, that Dalgona of coffee, I think. Yeah, for the next 30 minutes, I'll just be whipping this coffee. It's gonna be fun. So this is what we're working with after 12 minutes. Look at that. So I finished my coffee. It is about 11 o'clock right now. I'm probably gonna wait for like another maybe 30 minutes, maybe 15. I've gotta warm up first, and I'm gonna work out for about an hour, functional. Probably will film the workout. I'm kind of hyper right now because I had the coffee. So, let's get into it, shall we? point, it is 1 o'clock. I just finished my workout. I've got this beautiful curry, cauliflower, and carrot mix here with some rice and some chicken, thick chicken. So, hungry. Alright, so you know what I realized? That my fitness journey did not start in 2017, it started in 2018. 2018 was when it started. As I explained before, I got into fitness in the spring, fell in love with it over the summer, on to 2019. For the first 2.5 months of 2019, I was primarily weight training, meaning I was pretty much only training lower body. I was hardly training upper body. My relationship with food then was just normal. There was nothing special about it. I was pretty much eating intuitively at that point. I wasn't really tracking very accurately. I ended up overtraining a lot, so I'd go for 2 hours at a time. I was still working hard and loving what I was doing, and I think that's what mattered at that moment in time. After that, the next 2.5 months until April, I was mainly doing HIIT and cardio workouts. That's because prom was coming up and I wanted to lean down because I thought that I wasn't good enough the way that I was. I wanted to show up to my prom and stunt on all of them bitches. But I was going for about 45 minutes a day of HIIT workouts, which was stupid because real HIIT could only make you go for about 15 to 20 minutes depending. So yeah, I wasn't really tracking accurately at all because I hated seeing that number go above 1,000, which I think is so bullshit now that I'm looking back on it, because that is not a healthy mindset at all. HIIT workouts until April, when a tragedy struck, and I'm saying this with a smiling face because it hurts too much to really be like, that's what happened. I fell into a rut after that. I was mentally in despair. I was in pain. I was angry. I was upset. I was sad. I was frustrated. I wanted to punch everything in the world. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I started eating way more than I needed to be eating. And I used that as a coping mechanism. And it worked. I felt sort of comforted, but I didn't feel good anymore. It makes sense that I wasn't happy though, because this person meant a lot to me, and to lose them was the worst thing ever. I ended up losing another friend of mine who's still alive, just we kind of parted ways. So about a month after April until like late May, I just gave up. I gave up doing a lot of things. I was working out, yeah, but I wasn't eating properly. And I ended up gaining a bit of fat, and I didn't really care because I knew that I could just switch it around and be back to good, back to normal once I adjusted everything and actually figured out what was going on. But from June to August, that might have been my prime. My relationship with food began to develop and get more healthy. I was tracking a little bit more accurately. I was tracking my breakfast, my lunch, and my snack. I wasn't really eating a dinner. I was just eating frozen mango, popcorn, and Halo Top. And that time period, I threw myself into training. I found a perfect routine for me that still works today. If you haven't noticed, I like to make circuits out of HIIT moves, weights, and upper body moves. It's what works for me. You gotta experiment and figure out what works for you, okay? You cannot go by what I'm doing. Then in July, I got my wisdom teeth removed, and I kind of fell into a little bit of a rut where I wasn't tracking and I wasn't really doing anything because I couldn't move and I was in pain. I eventually healed from my wisdom teeth and I was back at it again. I was going to work, I was doing all that stuff until September came around and I strained my hip flexor. I was on a run before a band practice and I felt a sharp pain suddenly going through my hip, and of course I kept running because I didn't know what it meant. So I ignored it for the entire month of September, and then finally I was like, I need to rest. So October, I stopped training. I stopped going on walks, and all I was doing on my off hours from band was watching the X-Files and eating. But during that time period, I ended up developing a binge eating disorder. I was eating a lot and then making myself throw up. If you are experiencing that, get help. I'm serious, please get help. It's not fun. It fucks up your head. It fucks up your teeth. It fucks up your body. It fucks up the lining of your stomach. Please get help. And especially also if you are experiencing anorexia, please get help. And I ended up getting out of it, but I ended up doing physical therapy for about a month after the band season ended, month and a half really. That was the time period where I started getting more into figuring out what foods I like to eat. But even during that time, I still ended up crashing again, being frustrated with myself and hating the fact that I couldn't find the perfect way to eat food. So I made it a pact with myself that I would stop binge eating and I would stop making myself throw up in 2020. And ever since then, I haven't done it. It took a lot of my mental strength to break out of that cycle, but I'm glad that I did, because I ended up ending 2019 with my family at the beach and eating food for Christmas and not worrying about anything and just living. That's kind of how I ended 2019. But right now, it is 2 o'clock, so I'm gonna go on a walk and I'm gonna meet up with one of my friends and I will continue the story probably there. Let's go. Okay, yeah.
I'll see you at the entrance.
Oh, are we gonna race now?
No.
Yeah?
No.
I hear that as a yes.
The grass is too tall. The grass is too tall.
Suck it.
No. Don't die.
No promises. Can I say a cuss word?
I don't care.
Oh. So I just thought I would talk about my relationship with food currently this year. How it's developed, because I cover 2018, 2019, and now 2020. We are about 4 months into 2020, and already my relationship, it kind of went a little bit south at the beginning of the year. I wasn't binging or anything. At the beginning of 2020, I felt pretty good. So January and February, it was pretty healthy. Wasn't tracking accurately, was back on an actual workout regime. I was building my way back up. The most I was doing was 2 days a week, because that's all I could really do. I lost a lot of muscle mass then, and I hated the way I felt. I was slowly but surely building up my strength back. I started intermittent fasting because I wanted to lean down again for prom. I was eating from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I just didn't eat anything for the next like 12 hours, 16 hours. You know, at first I felt good, and then I started realizing again I was falling into the same habits of binging at the end of my fast. So I completely and finally scrapped intermittent fasting for good. Finally, my relationship with food has actually developed into something a little bit healthier. I ditched it about a week ago, and I've never felt better. I'm actually tracking accurate calories. I'm eating well. I'm not overtraining. I'm doing what I love. I'm honestly in a very healthy mindset right now. Currently, I am cutting just because I feel like I want to get a little bit leaner, and I'm tracking about 1,800 calories a day, which puts me in about a 500 calorie deficit, because my maintaining calories are roughly 2,300 calories. It's kind of hard just because I'm not used to tracking this accurately, but we're getting in the gist of it, and eventually I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna actually start intuitively eating once I develop and fully fix my brain. That's pretty much where I stand on my relationship with food. It's about 3 o'clock and I'm gonna end up heading home at about and then eating a snack and then eating dinner. For the past hour, I've been trying to figure out how to edit because I got a new software. So I'm pretty much working on editing this video right now. I'm probably gonna eat dinner at about 5:30 maybe. I'll be working on this and some schoolwork for pretty much until bed. So right here for dinner, I've measured out about 200 grams of carrots and then 100 grams of cauliflower, and this is gonna go in the oven for about 20 minutes or so. It is at 425. In the meantime, I'm gonna be sauteing some kale. I cut up about 75 grams of kale. Usually I don't eat kale. I don't really like kale, but I thought that if I spiced it up and made it good, it would be worthwhile, you know? Here we have a Beyond Burger being cooked right now. It looks really, really good. Here's my sauteed kale. I sauteed it with some curry powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and then finished it off by massaging in some olive oil. Because I got impatient, I did not let these things cook all the way through. This is what it looks like. Ooh. To finish out my what I eat in a day, I'm going to be having some big bowl of frozen mango because this is the best shit in the world. And the rest of this Arctic Zero non-dairy frozen dessert. So that pretty much concludes what I eat in a day on average now. Please keep in mind that my relationship with food is not perfect. It is far from perfect, and I'm still working on it today. I'm taking it at my own pace. Slow and steady always wins the race. You need to figure out what works best for you. My diet probably won't work for another person, and that's completely fine because that's their life and this is my life. That's their body and this is my body. But thank you so much for watching this video. A lot of time was put into it. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, you can leave a like and subscribe for more. I really do want to start getting out more videos. I just have to figure out what exactly to film. But nevertheless, thank you once again for watching this video. It means a lot. I hope you have a wonderful day and make sure to take care of yourselves. Peace.